Do you think you could have been drugged?
Yes, I actually did. I didn't tell the police until after I got back home. I couldn't tell anybody. I just wanted to die.
What did your husband say?
My husband didn't find out till about a month later.
When did you realize you were pregnant?
About 3 weeks after it happened. I started having nausea and morning sickness, and
Is there any possibility your husband could be the father?
my husband had a vasectomy 4 years ago.
So now you are 5 months pregnant and you are sure that it is the product of the
Positive.
rape.
Yes.
Have you ever told anybody, any of the authorities?
Yes, I have.
What have they said?
I didn't report it right away, so the evidence is gone.
So there's nothing they can do.
It's my word against his word.
This has happened with him before.
This first victim was 15 years old.
And was he sent to jail for that rape?
No,
Why was he not sent to jail for raping a 15-year-old?
because the sentence was changed to assault on a female. He got 36 months supervised probation.
And no jail time.
No,
What was your husband's reaction?
my husband wanted to kill him.
Let's talk about the baby. You're going to keep the baby?
I don't know.
You haven't decided yet.
My husband doesn't want me to keep the baby.
What do you want? Now, just as we've said, 1 of every 4 women in America will have been raped, it stands to reason by the law of averages that there are women who will have been raped more than once. Is that true of you?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
I was 16. I didn't know the person. We were in my car. He took my keys, asked me to scoot over. He drove me away from there about 4 miles from where we were, and yes, I was raped.
Your son Matthew is the product of that rape. Matthew, when did you learn you were conceived from a rape?
I was 8 years old.
How did your mother explain it to you?
Actually, I came by accident. I kind of figured it out by myself.
How?
I went through some letters and I was reading them. And she explained a little bit to me. I called my real father about a couple days later. I met him a few weeks later. We kind of sort of have a relationship, but not really.
Was he ever tried for this rape? No.
No.
I have a stepfather who takes care of me. I have a real dad, so I kind of have 2 dads. My real dad and me, we talk maybe once a year. But I've tried to make good out of a bad situation.
I really don't know where I would be today without him. We grew up kind of like best friends.
Do you feel that this will happen again with this child?
I'm afraid to say.
This time you have a husband, this time you're married.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to follow your story, to see what happens. We're going to meet now a woman who was raped when she was 13. She too, at 13, conceived a baby. Her mother asked her to give this baby up for adoption, not wanting a 13-year-old to raise a child. She feels that was the wrong thing to do. Will she ever see her child again? Find out next. Did you say no?
Oh yeah, I put up a fight and he threatened to punch my face in if I didn't give in.
Your mother arranged the child be given up for adoption.
I was really more bothered about having to give her up for adoption than I was about the actual rape part.
Was her father's friend, Mike Terrell. A friend he had not seen in years, but the night of Charlie's confession, he did see him, and he killed him.
I said, Mike, I said, you better pray for forgiveness for what you done to my daughter, and I'm going to pray for forgiveness what I'm about to do to you. And I started shooting.
Paul Neely never tried to cover his tracks. In fact, he confessed afterwards on local television.
I'm sorry, and I don't expect you to forgive me. I already thought of the consequences before I'd done it, and I knew that I was going to pay and suffer.
Now he is paying the price. He's serving a 10-year sentence in the Western Missouri Correctional Center. We'll show you that interview that we did in jail a little later on. Ask a man who's been in about 8 years how he feels about what he did. First, welcome Leola and her daughter Pam. Leola, you were about the same age as Paul's daughter when you were raped, right? You raped at 13, gave birth at 14?
Right.
Your mother made some decisions for you.
Right. She,
knowing that a 13-year-old could not probably take care of a baby.
Right. She sent me away in a home for unwed mothers so my relatives wouldn't know that I was pregnant.
Did you know the man that raped you?
Yeah, I was vaguely. I was, 13, so I thought he worked around the corner at the gas station, so I thought I was in love with him.
Uh-huh. Did you say no?
Oh, yeah, I put up a fight, and he threatened to punch my face in if I in.
When it was discovered that you were pregnant, where did he go?
As soon as I found out, of course, I told him, and he left the state.
Have you ever seen that man since?
No.
So, your mother arranged the child be given up for adoption.
Right.
You have had how many other children?
3 other children.
So you had a total of 4, 3 of which you've brought up, right?
Right.
Pam, your mother wants you to help her find that child that she had at 13. Mm-hmm. Did you have any luck?
No.
The daughter would be 29 now?
Right.
You said you wanted it to be the daughter's choice. Suppose she doesn't know she was adopted.
I was always hoping that, her parents would tell her when she got old enough, but you never know. Just like I was hoping that, that she would have a good home and stuff.
Let's go to the best scenario. You think you had a mother and father, and for some reason they couldn't take care of you. Is it better to know that father was a rapist and raped you?
Not.
Wouldn't you think maybe that's in you, or maybe...
I mean, I guess just knowing that she didn't want to give her up.
Yeah, I think if she knew that I didn't want to give her up and I didn't let that part of the situation bother me, I was really more bothered about having to give her up for adoption than I was about the actual rape part at that time. Because I really wanted to keep her. Giving her up was the hardest thing I ever did.
Do you think at 13 you were capable of being a mother to that child?
I thought so at the time. I understand, but, that's what I was thinking then. I was thinking, well, I'll do a good thing. When I think back now, I guess my mother was doing the right thing for me at then, but it's not what I wanted at the time, so.
Right. But you do think the child should be told she's the product of a rape? I guess only if you are the product of a rape would you be able to answer that question.
Right.
We'll be right back.
Mike, why did you rape my baby? He put his hand up, he said, Paul, she's an effing liar. I said, Mike, I said, you better pray for forgiveness for what you done to my daughter, and I'm going to pray for forgiveness what I'm about to do to you.
This This is a prison interview that we did with William Paul Neely. He was convicted in 1994 and sentenced to 10 years in prison for murdering his friend, Mike Terrell. Paul says he shot Mike for raping his 16-year-old daughter, Charlie, 4 years prior when she was only 12.
I had a good relationship with all my kids, and then as they got older, of course, my wife and I divorced, and I don't know if Charlie felt like I deserted her or what. We even had her taken to, when she got about 12 or 13 years old, had her go to counselors and so forth, and they said something serious was wrong, but they couldn't, she wouldn't talk about it. I didn't even have any clue. I didn't have a hint. We were at the house one day, and Big Bird's his nickname. Big Bird's name got brought up. Charlie came running down the stairs and said, "He ain't coming over, is he?" She took off, and it didn't hit me. Nothing registered. Charlie was in the living room with her fiance, and she started crying, ran off into the kitchen, and I said, "What is it, Charlie?" She says, "I can't tell you. You won't love me." I started rocking her. I said, "What do you mean I won't let her?" I said, "Charlie, you can tell me anything." She says, "I was raped." And I said, "You were raped?" I said, "By who?" She says, "I was raped by Big Bird." And she says, "He raped me when I was 12 years old," and right then everything just fell into place. And I went right to the phone. I was going to find out where he lived, and then I was going to get me a gun, and I was going to go shoot him. So I got a hold of him and told him I had to meet him somewhere. I was feeling numb. I was like in a zone. Pulled the gun out of my pocket. He turned around and looked at me like that, and I said, "Mike, why did you rape my baby?" He put his hand up, he said, "Paul, she's an effing liar." I said, "Mike," I said, "you better pray for forgiveness for what you done to my daughter, and I'm going to pray for forgiveness what I'm about to do to you." And he started to step at me, and I said, "Mike, you better pray." And he took off running, and I started shooting. And I fired like 3 or 4 rounds, and as he stumbled around the corner, I knew he fell. And I walked up to him, and I looked down, and he was gurgling. I heard a gurgling sound. And I emptied the gun to his head, basically to take him out of his misery. And I knelt down beside him, and I prayed. And I woke up the next morning, and it was just like, wow, there's some things I got to clean up, I knew I had to confess. I just stayed with the truth all the way. I confessed on TV for what I'd done. The community and family and friends came in, and they came up with a $250,000 bond. When I got bonded out, and I came out the back gate, and there were cameras all over and stuff, and she ran up and gave me a big hug and said, "I love you, Dad." She cried many times and saying I spent the whole time I was out reassuring her that that was my mistake, and they gave me the minimum sentence, so I was blessed. I see Charlie probably about 4 times a year. Well, I missed all 3 of their weddings, but like I said, you got to take the good with the bad, and Daddy's fine. I'm a better man now than I was when I first came to prison. I'm going to be a better man every day I wake up. This is about family and how the family reacted and how they held together. I wasn't thinking enough to realize it, to consider the rest of my family and what the results would be to them also, which was a mistake. And I hurt a lot of people, and I'm not proud of what I've done. My only consolation is that this man will not rape and hurt another child or another woman again.
When he agreed to do this interview with us, he had one request, and that is that we air his apology to the mother of the man he shot and killed. We're going to fulfill that request. Take a look.
I meant her no harm in any way, and I'm sorry for what I've done to her son and the pain and grief I've caused her and her family. And there's no way I can bring them back, but the remorse is real, and from what I know of Mike's mom, she's a nice lady and never done me any wrong ever, and I'm sorry the pain and grief I brought her and her family.
Paul has been in quite a while now. He's scheduled to be paroled in the year 2001. P.S. in jail, he's getting married next month. Don't go away. Leola's about to meet her long-lost daughter, She's going to tell her the reason why she had to give her up. We'll be right back. Sunny Templeton. Sunny runs the Women's Resource Center Network. It's based in Louisiana. She is the executive director of a pregnancy center and clinic. Question. Knowing how children want their parents' approval, if your father is a criminal, does this not do something to a child's psyche?
Absolutely.
Now, I understand the value of telling the truth. I have problems with the value of telling the child that their father is a criminal and a rapist. How do you handle this?
I think the way Angela did it earlier when she was here speaking, I think it was absolutely beautiful with Hannah. Don't you agree? Yeah. She did a wonderful job. So it never was a shock to her.
How do you help the woman through the ordeal?
When a woman comes into one of our centers, what we do is we just listen.
Yes.
Every woman is at a different place in her life, and we just listen. And we reassure them that regardless of what happened, rape is of power. Rapists will pick someone that is less powerful than them. Their victim is always weaker.
Okay.
And you immediately feel powerless and paralyzed. And so what we do is we try and help them regain their sense of value. We talk with them, we assure them that no, it wasn't something you wore. It wasn't because you stopped at the store. It wasn't because you said something or smiled at him. But we didn't ask to be raped.
Another thing I have a problem with. First, I have to identify that I'm an adoptive mother. Second of all, is a 13-year-old better able to bring up a baby? Or are parents who have been through the state and been tested and all of that?
With a 13-year-old child, with a family unit, obviously there's a mother, father, there's a caretaker over this 13-year-old child. She's raped, she finds out that she's pregnant. It's up to that family unit to decide.
So in her case, where her mother made that choice and said, I could not handle it.
At that time in their lives, a 13-year-old cannot make that decision. The parents have to guide them along.
My reason for bringing that out, I hope is not self-serving, but I want Leola to be relieved of that guilt and to realize that was the decision, that a 13-year-old couldn't fight and couldn't make that decision, that her mother, probably rightly, made it for you.
Right.
All right, let's say hello to your daughter, Karen. Took a lot of money, thank you for knowing. Does she look the way you thought she would?
She looks just like kids.
Let me ask you a question. Did you know you were adopted?
Yes, I did.
Have you ever decided to find your biological parent?
I've wanted my whole life to know who she was.
Did you ever make an attempt to find?
For the last 5 years, I've been looking on the internet, actually. So,
well, your sister's been looking on the internet.
I've put in my name in registries and different things on the internet.
We'll be right back. Lola, who has been reunited with Karen, who's her biological mother. And I think it would be interesting for you to meet Karen's adoptive mother, Carol, who is in the audience. Would you come up? What would you like to say to your adoptive mother?
I just wanted to let her know that no matter what, she'll always be my mom, you know.
What would you like to say to Karen?
Well, I like to tell her that I've always loved her, and I was, forced to give her up for adoption. Or if I'd had my way, I would have kept her, but she's always been in my heart. Maybe not thinking mind-wise always, but always in my heart over all the years. And I love you very much.
Anything you would like to say to her?
As the same, I've thought about you my whole life and wondered, and I always wanted to meet you. And like I said, I've searched for the last 5 years, but I've thought about you my whole life.
I think it would be good if Sonny spoke briefly to all of our guests after the show. We'll be right back.
Circumstances surrounding my adoption.
But I wanted to keep you so bad. It was the hardest thing I ever did.
It doesn't matter how you were conceived.
Right.
It doesn't matter. What matters is who you become.
That's right.
And you have become such a beautiful, beautiful young lady.
There's just so much going on in my mind right now.
Yes.
That's just the biggest part is I never really worried about my birth father. It was always my birth mom, and
Well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
She answered my question. I wanted to know if I was loved. And
Yes, that's obvious.
Okay, every 3.5 minutes a rape occurs. So you've been with me the better part of an hour. 17 people have been raped. Another alarming statistic, there isn't one of you sitting in this audience or sitting at home who has not had this happen in their family or to a close friend. Thank you to all my guests. See you next time. Questions? We have a website, sallyjr.com.
Of 1999. There is hope.
You're spending every waking moment of your day begging and pleading your daughter to break up, to drop the man she's madly in love with.
I love you, and if you loved me, you would respect that.
If you don't stay out of our business, you're never going to see your daughter again. Stay the hell away from my daughter!
She is grown right now. Let her make her own decisions.
When you put your hands on her, you messing with me.
He's got her under a spell. I love him. I care about him. You're not seeing her. Yes, I am.
I've told you to your face, you're a loser.
It hurts me because I love him.
I'm saying leave him.
I was with my ex-boyfriend for 4 years. He beat on me, 3 of them.
This is hitting home, isn't it?
Just get away from her.
Hey, get off of him!
Today we're talking to parents who say they literally hate their daughter's boyfriends. Now I want you to meet John. John says he spends every minute of every day trying to find a way to get rid of his 17-year-old daughter Heather's boyfriend Travis. He says not only does Travis have a criminal past and a pretty good rap sheet, but he recently heard that Travis put his hands around his daughter's throat and choked her. Now, you heard this story. Why do you believe it?
Because I know what kind of idiot this Travis is. I've known this man for 5 years, and he is trash. He gives new meaning to the term white trash. She thinks she's going to change this character, this slime. She's not going to change him. Leopards do not change their spots.
Okay. And your worst fear is what, John?
That my daughter is going to end up dead in a trash container somewhere. That's what scares me the most.
Are there any good things about him?
Absolutely nothing. He has a long juvenile criminal history. He is a thief. He is a dope dealer. He is a dope user. He has given dope to people that I know.
Does he work?
if you can call it work. He just started a job supposedly framing houses, and that job will probably last about a week, and then he'll be gone again.
Is that what he normally does?
That's what he normally does. The man has never held a job more than a couple of weeks in his life.
So what have you done to try to keep your daughter away from this guy?
As much as I possibly can, but being in this wheelchair, it creates problems. My daughter can sneak around, and when I'm at work, I work upwards of 40 to 50 hours a week, and I'm in a wheelchair, and this character doesn't do anything but steal. He stole U-Haul trailers at people's motels and destroyed their lives. And he'd take these trailers out into the desert and strip them down and steal the contents and just ruin people's lives.
Didn't you have him arrested once?
I had him arrested when I caught him underneath my daughter's bed in her bedroom.
Wait a second, you mean that actually happened? I mean, we always see about that in the movies, you know, where the guy's hiding under a bed. You mean it happened?
It actually happened. Swear to God it happened, Maury.
And you caught him?
I caught him under the bed, and my daughter slammed the door on my hand to keep me, and then she got him out the window, but they found him later in a little camper we have outside, and she was with him. The man is trash.
Well, let's find out, first of all, from your daughter, what it's all about. Here's your daughter, Heather. Heather, come on out. Hi, Heather. How are you? Nice to see you.
Hi, nice
Thank
to
you
see
very
you too.
Before I talk about your boyfriend, Travis, maybe I'll start this way, Heather. Sit down there. What do you think of him?
I think he's a liar.
Him?
Yes.
Your dad?
Yes.
You love your dad?
Yes, I do.
You love him very much?
Yes, I do.
And you're calling your dad a liar?
Yes, sir.
Why? What's he lying about?
Because he's lying about the things he's saying about my boyfriend.
Really?
Yes.
Well, let me ask you about your boyfriend. Does he have a criminal record?
Yes, he does.
Does he do drugs?
No.
Does he deal drugs?
No.
Does he steal from people?
No, he doesn't.
Well, then how did he get this criminal record?
Okay. In his past, he has had a criminal record, but that's his past and this is now.
Right. And so ever since you've met him, he's never done anything wrong.
Exactly.
How about that, John?
That's not true. This man will never change. He's telling my daughter what my daughter wants to hear. That's all there is to it.
Why do you stay with this guy, Heather?
Because I love him.
You do?
Yes, I do.
You want to marry him?
Yes, and I intend to marry him.
Heather, please leave this trash. Please leave this slime.
Dad,
you are destroying
whatever you
me.
think about him, that's the past and this is now. And you know what? I love him, and if you loved me, you would respect that.
You didn't tell your father this, but your father said this to me because you haven't admitted this to your father. Did he try to choke you?
Yes, he did.
When was that?
That was probably about a month or two ago.
And why did he do this? What was happening?
What was happening? I wouldn't stick up for myself to my father. My father was saying things to me, and I was just listening to them, letting them go in my head. I wasn't sticking up for myself, and my boyfriend got mad at me.
All right. Before we meet Travis, John, Travis wanted to say something to you. So look at this screen right here, okay? Take a look.
John, I'm gonna date your daughter no matter what, and if you don't stay out of our business, you're never gonna see your daughter again.
That's a pretty defiant young man. Travis, come on out. Travis.
You know what, John?
Travis,
I don't
stay the hell away from my daughter.
I'm not gonna get your daughter.
You got to end up dead. Travis, you're gonna end up dead.
Look, I love her.
No. Let me tell you something. Wait a second, man. You just wait 1 second, okay? All right? Have you no feeling for this guy right here?
No, none at all.
Why not?
Because I love his daughter and he's not willing to accept
You don't
that.
love anybody, Travis.
You don't love nobody but
money.
yourself.
You love stealing. You
What
love
do I get
destroying
from you?
people's
What
lives.
have I get from you? Nothing. I never got nothing from you, John. I
Except
clean
what
your
you
yard.
stole.
I take care. I tell her to go to school.
Yeah.
I tell her to get a job.
Yeah.
I tell her
Why
every
don't you
fucking
get a
thing you
job?
do.
Why don't you
I
get
got
a
a job. I frame houses.
Yeah, how long you been framing houses?
How long? Not
Yeah.
very long, but
Not
you know what?
very
It's going to be
long.
very long.
And
I'm
it's
going to
not
marry your
gonna
daughter.
last. You've
And
never
there's
held a
nothing you
job.
can do about it, John.
You've never held a
There's
job in
nothing
your
you
life
can do
over a
about it.
couple of weeks.
Because once she turns 18, you're going to be by yourself,
Yeah.
John. Because you're pushing her away from yourself.
Trash.
You're trash.
Trash.
You're a scammer. Just like you said
I'm
you
a
lost your
scammer.
wallet on the way over here.
I work 50
You
hours
don't even
a
have
week and I'm a
wallet.
scammer.
John, wait
Travis.
a second, John. Travis, let me ask you this, all right? What gives you a right to yell like that?
What gives him the right to yell at me?
Your girl's father.
He never gave me a chance.
I would no more. How do you have the audacity to scream and yell at your girlfriend's father?
How does he have the audacity to do that to me every day?
How do you expect?
Every single day.
How do you expect to get his respect?
I don't want his respect.
Well, you don't?
This man has never gave me respect.
If you don't want his respect, you won't respect her.
I will respect her. I do respect her.
You do?
Ask her.
With your hands around her throat?
No.
Travis. With your hands around her throat?
That was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
And I'm willing to admit that, but you know what? I love his daughter, and this whole man cannot accept the fact that people change.
Right.
I've had a job.
But you got to show your change. You understand that?
Yeah,
you can't,
but see,
you can't talk your change.
He's not willing.
You can't talk your change. You got to show it.
And I have been.
How have you been doing that? Because you've been
By
on a job
working?
for a week?
No, I've had a job before that.
You know what you ought to do? You ought to go away
months.
for a year, keep one job for a year, then come back and tell John, hey, John, look, I'm not who you think I am. I've settled down. I've got some self-respect. Now, may I please take out your daughter? That's what you should be doing.
He still won't give it up. He still won't.
Have a seat. Okay. John says he knows who you are, Trav. What? Do you have a spell over her?
No.
Huh?
No, not at all.
How old are you?
I tell her she can leave whenever she wants.
How old are you?
If she feels, I'm 19 years old.
Okay, you're 19 years old. You've been gone together for about 5 months. Is that right, Heather?
Yes, sir.
You ever been out with any other woman?
Yeah, I have. What do you mean? Why we're together?
Yeah.
I cheated on her once, and I've told her that, and she's cheated on. Hey, she's cheated on me too. What goes around comes around.
Just to give everybody,
for your old lady.
Just to give everybody an indication of Travis, we have another person here who knows Travis. Your ex-girlfriend is here, Sarah. Go ahead.
Girl, I love you, and you know
Sarah, if you
what's
loved
going
me,
on.
You would understand that I
You
loved
know, you know what?
If you
How can you stick up for him? Everything that you denied everything that he's done to
Sarah,
you when you know that it's
Sarah,
true.
if you love me, you tell me you love me, and if you love me, then you would understand that I love Travis.
I know you
And
love him,
you would respect
but you're
that.
not. You're a beautiful woman. You have a lot of potential. You can go somewhere with yourself, and as long as you're with him, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere.
You did it because of me, but if nobody else can.
He did the same crap to me. He did the same stuff to me, and he says he's changed. He always says that he's changed,
You did the
and he
same
does
thing
it
too,
again.
Sarah. You did the same
No,
thing while I was in jail.
Put a lid on it.
Beat her?
I don't beat her. No, I beat
Yes,
you.
you do.
No.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what.
Okay, then what happened when that happened, okay? You called right after he choked you, and I came and picked you up. What's up with that? How come you're denying it now?
I told them yes, he put his hands on me. I told them, yes, he put his hands on me, but you know what? That was the past. It was an accident.
That was not the past. It was a month ago.
I'll tell you what.
It happened. It's
I'll tell you
done
what.
and over with.
I want all of you to come backstage right now. We're working Dr. Testa a lot today, okay? This is Anne Renee.
Hi.
Okay, all right.
This is what I'm going to do right here.
No,
Sarah.
no, 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 Travis. No,
Travis, I'm going to kill you.
no.
Travis,
no.
trust me.
No, no, no. This is not the time for this. We'll be back right after this. We'll be right back. Thank you.
She wanted to be a early childhood
Teacher development in
where you
development.
open up a daycare. I can't think of the name of it now. It's the correct name.
She wanted
for
to
it.
handle daycare.
Yes, and she always has said that ever since she was knee-high to a duck with me. She always has wanted that. She's always been to school. Like I can tell you when she was a teenager, when she ran away from home, she would go to school. I could go to school and find her there.
Right.
Now this is a child that loves school. I instill high education.
And she
in my
starts
family.
college and meets this guy.
She went to college. She had a nice 2-bedroom apartment. She was, she was doing real good.
And then she meets this guy.
Get good grades, yeah. Then all of a sudden he shows up. Next thing I know, his clothes shows up. Next thing I know, she's signing up for quarters. She's never making it. She's getting a job. He's got all these bills going on, and she says she's going to help him. But
so you blame him for her dropping out
yes,
of school?
Yes, I do.
Does he do anything for your daughter?
No.
Does he do anything for her kids?
No.
Nothing.
I have to do it.
And so you found out something last week about him.
Yeah. I found out he doesn't even know, and she doesn't even know, that I know last Sunday, to be exact, he took her and threw her down a flight of stairs with her 3-month-old baby in her hands. He don't know I know this. And I try to stay out of their drama, but when you mess with my daughter, you messing with me.
Well,
that's when I get involved.
Let's bring your daughter out here, okay. All right? And see what she has to say. Here she is, okay? Come on. Hello. How are you? Nice to see you. Come on out. You just heard your mom?
Yeah.
You've been backstage with your mom, hearing your mom?
Yes.
You hear what she has to say?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't bother you?
Yes, it does.
I bet it does. Why did you quit school?
It wasn't just Keith. Why you know we had child care? I had
Child care took care of Child care took care of Precious, which I called my first grandchild. Child care took care of Precious.
But
they had child care right on the campus. She was taken care of. They had a 2-bedroom apartment for you. They took care of everything. You didn't have no bills. You didn't have nothing till Keith.
But see, it was more than that.
It was more than that
because when I had her in
Well, tell me about Keith. What do you think of him?
I love Keith.
You do?
I do.
How long you been going with him?
We've been together for 2 years.
Did you get a job to pay his bills?
I got a job, but he has most of the bills.
Did you have any bills before Keith?
No, I didn't. But see,
So you got a job to pay Keith bills?
I got...
Every time you talk about going to school, what Keith say? You got bills to pay.
I'm helping him pay off his license.
I could choke her when she's talking about Keith. And now I asked her something, I gotta ask Keith. We gotta talk to Keith. I ain't raised you that way. You ain't never seen me ask nobody. I'm married to her. And you don't see me asking her. I gotta ask her. You don't see that. You know better.
Why isn't Keith paying his bills?
He is paying his bills. He works, he pays his bills too.
Keith is hanging out with his friends. Keith is doing everything.
You know, he
ain't smoking weed. He ain't smoking weed.
Yeah, he's so but he do this.
He's smoking with his friends. He ain't out with his friends. And you
he
know
don't be out on his friends all the time. They come
and you think you his only girlfriend?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
You dreaming. You choose to choose to believe that. Don't say you
Do you think there are other women?
I know it is.
No,
what about the girl he brought up when you had cervical cancer scare? I would have to go to surgery with you. Where was he? Where was he?
He told me a story about some other one, but he said he was lying.
Yeah, right.
Let's find out what Keith's all about. Here he is. Here's Keith. Keith, come on out.
What's up, man?
Nice to see you.
How you doing, Warren?
Nice to see you. I'm fine. How you been?
I'm all right, man.
Good.
I can't complain too much. How y'all doing out here?
Right, good. Have a seat right here.
All right.
I don't want to get you too close to her. What do you think of her, by the way, Keith?
Well, she a nice person. What's going on?
I'm all right.
Are you all right? I mean, what's happening?
You know what the show was about.
Well, I mean, tell me. What's going on?
She doesn't like you. That's what it's all about.
She don't like me, huh? Why don't you like me?
Because ever since you came into her life, you know, she dropped out of college to pay your bills. She don't do nothing, but it's Keith now. It's all about Keith. She got kids to take care of. Who she come to buy pep? He smoke weed, you get drunk, and then you put your hands on it. I found out Sunday. You don't even know this.
He didn't throw me down the stairs, Mom. I told you.
She went down the flight of stairs with the baby. You didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me that. And you don't even know how I found out he threw you down a flight of stairs with the baby in her hand.
No,
I'll tell you what.
I didn't tell you what.
Look.
And
you ain't never had problems. You ain't never had problems
with her with drama. You messing with me. I don't get into y'all business. But when you put your hands on her, you messing with me.
Y'all can understand if somebody having problems in their relationship, right?
That's not problems. No. You talking to
how you straight? You can't have no hustable relationship. Ain't everybody?
No, this is beyond that. You don't put your hands on nobody. That's not love. That is not love. That is not love. Ain't nobody threw me down a flight of stairs.
I didn't throw down no flight of stairs. I didn't throw down no flight of stairs. That wasn't what this was about. That wasn't what this was about.
I want to ask you this. Don't you think?
Why didn't you check the baby out?
Don't I think what?
Wait a second.
Don't I think what? He talking. The man talking. What's up?
Don't you think? Wouldn't you be proud of her if she finished college?
Yes, I would. I support everything that she do. Everything that she do.
How are you going to do that?
Because I'm going to do that.
When are you going to do that?
When I
because
get
look, this is why
everything settles down. It's not just for his bills. I have bills.
This is my experience. This is my experience. This is reality. The longer you stay away from school, the less likely you are going to go.
I'm going back to school. I don't care who don't believe that.
Exactly. And I'm gonna support her when she's doing it.
But how are you gonna support her? You're gonna support her financially while she does that?
Keith, you drink a lot, you smoke weed, and when you do that, that's when you get violent with her.
Now come on now. So you gonna sit on national TV and tell me something like that? You're not gonna come out here in front of me.
I'm not gonna come out here in front of you. But when you
what?
Keith, wait a minute.
I'm not saying under you, but you know I can jump up and down too. Okay?
It don't matter.
But you just showing up. When you get drunk, you know you get violent. When you get drunk, what do you do?
Am I showing out?
Yes. Yes.
She come out here talking about all bad on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing out.
Am I lying? What? Am I lying?
Am I lying?
Do you smoke weed?
Am I lying?
Do you smoke weed?
That's a matter of my personal business. You know what I'm saying? That's a matter of my personal business. You know what I'm saying?
Not when you put your hands on my daughter. It's not a part of your personal business. If I'm taking care of my home front, what I do is my business. Now when you put your hands on my daughter.
Let me ask you one question about her right here.
What's that?
Does she have a stake in her daughter right now?
Yes, she do. Yes, she do. A hard-driven
She
stake.
just needs to
like
leave
she a
you
vampire.
alone.
I'm telling you, yes, she do.
Get out
yes,
of
she
life.
do.
That's what you
Driving in deeper and deeper.
I know
Wait a minute.
You know what it is? You know what I think
Doesn't she have a right to be in her daughter's life?
Yes, she do.
I don't get in your drama till you put your hands on her.
And look, I'm not knocking that. You know
Or
what
my
I'm saying?
grandchildren
Look at the pain she's in. Look
and
at her.
I know this is why it's happening.
You know how I am.
This is how
I don't play that.
She's not. Look, this is a grown woman right here. She is supposed to step up out of her life. That is why she raised her so she can get up and do what she want to do while she grown.
Right.
Now she grown right now. She is grown right now. Let her make her own decisions. Let her make her own decisions. You can't be up in her business like that.
You know I don't get in your business. But when you slap, you throw her down a flight of stairs.
What are you doing?
I will get in her business every time.
We'll be back right after this. Today we're talking to mothers who say they hate their daughter's boyfriends, and they're here today desperate to break up these volatile relationships. They want them over. Now, how would you feel if you heard that your daughter was being punched, kicked, even tied up by her violent boyfriend? That's what's happening to my next guest, Lisa's 17-year-old daughter, Valerie. And before the show, Valerie told our producer, this is her daughter, I will never leave my boyfriend, David, even if he beats me for the rest of my life. You're not surprised at that comment? You're not surprised this is the way your daughter feels?
No, he's got her under a spell.
Well, how'd you find out?
I got a phone call, 1 o'clock in the morning. Sheriff told me to come to a convenience store in our hometown, and I went and picked her up and found out that he had tied her up with her wrist to a chair, handcuffed her, had pulled her hair and had beat her up really bad.
And did you take your daughter home then?
Yeah, I had to take her home.
And did she admit all this?
Yeah, she did. We wrote out a police report, tried to get him arrested, and we couldn't get him arrested.
And have you had to go and pick up your daughter on other occasions?
Many occasions. I'm always...
So it's not just one time?
No.
That you had to go pick her up and bring her home?
No.
How many times?
6, 7 times.
And have you confronted him?
No, today's my day to confront him.
You've never done it. Before we meet David, why don't we bring out Lisa's 17-year-old daughter, Valerie, and find out why she is taking this abuse and what she has to say to her mother. Valerie, please come on out. Valerie, how are you? Nice to see you. You know she loves you very much.
Yes.
You do know that, don't you? Has she said anything that is untrue?
No.
Did you tell that to my producer? That you don't care how much he beats you, you're going to stay with him the rest of your life?
I'm going to.
Why? You know what that means? What do you think it means when he hits you, or when he grabs you, or when he needs help? Are you the Red Cross?
No.
I got an idea, Valerie. Why don't you tell him to go get help, and once he gets help, and once he changes his ways, then you and he may be able to talk. There's an added ingredient here I haven't talked about. Valerie, in what condition are you right now?
Pregnant.
Pregnant.
Does this enter into your thinking about this?
It's part of the reason why I'm with him.
He knows you're pregnant, and he beat you 3 weeks ago.
Right.
So he beat a pregnant woman.
Yes, he has.
And you want to spend the rest of your life with him. I want to see what this guy is all about. Here's David. Let's see. This is one of the most baffling guests I've ever seen. The man is smiling. Not a man? So tell him, Lisa, how you feel about it.
I hate you. I don't want you hitting on her no more. She's not going to see you no more. I don't care what she's... No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
You watch and see.
No, you're not, Valerie.
Watch and see.
No, you're not. You're not seeing her.
Yes, I am.
Now, wait a second. Are you doing this just to defy your mother? Or is there any positive reason you can figure out in your own mind, Valerie, why you want to be with this man right now with what he's going through? And conversely, with what you're going through, you're pregnant. You know something? He could kill your baby. Wait a second. What do you want to do first, David? Don't do that now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that now. Don't do that now. Don't do that now. You can do it on your time. I don't want you to. No. 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 You hold on. You hold on. We'll be back. Beg their daughters to get rid of their boyfriends who they believe are complete losers. My next guest, Patty, says her daughter Barbara hasn't smiled one day since she started dating a man named Jason. How long ago?
2.5 years.
2.5. No smiles in 2.5 years. Why does Barbara seem so unhappy? Patty says it's because her daughter is 8 months pregnant and completely supporting a guy who will not work, won't help out, won't do a thing. You don't think that she can break off with this?
Well, I broke him up once before.
And it didn't work?
I wound up having to apologize to Jason because...
Why?
I convinced her that...
Why do you have to apologize to anybody who doesn't work? Who doesn't seem to be able to pull his load?
Because I want my daughter to be happy, and...
But why would you don't want your daughter to be happy with the wrong guy? Well, let's meet your daughter, Barbara, okay? Let's bring her out. Here's Barbara. Barbara, come on out. Nice to see you. I see you're crying because your mom's crying, right? Yeah. Which means, obviously, you love your mother a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so why can't you take what your mother says seriously?
Well, I do.
Well, do you ever say to yourself, you know, maybe Mom's right. Maybe this isn't the guy for me.
Well, I know I know that, you know, Jason and I, we have our problems, and yeah, my mom's my best friend in the whole world, and I call her up all the time, and I do put it on to her a lot. But I love Jason, and I know that, you know, I love him a lot, and I know that he has issues, and we both have our issues to work.
There came a time when I asked you, does he have a... You know, taking care... For you kids, I'm saying leave him. What's right? He's useless.
When your mother just said she thought he was useless, is that just too much for you?
It hurts me because I love him.
Why do you?
You know, we have our problems, but it hurts me to hear these things coming from my mom because I love her.
Jason, why can't you make this right?
I'm trying to.
How?
I haven't held a job for a year.
Ever?
Ever.
How old are you?
20.
How long have you been trying to look for jobs? Since the age of 16, 15?
First job when I was 16, I worked at McDonald's for a month and a half.
Month and a half? What happened?
It was $4.25 an hour.
Wait a second. You've got her mother going out and buying diapers. You're probably scraping for money to buy a package of diapers. $4.25, you know, 8-hour days, that's still at least $40 a day, okay? That buys diapers.
Money, I know.
You do drugs?
I quit.
How long ago?
A week and a half ago.
You're a loser. And I broke you guys. There came a point in time when I had you two separated. Barbara was actually happy during that short period of time. She came back to you.
Stay in touch with you. No, you won't.
I had one 2 months ago. I can't take the stress anymore.
We'll be in these young women, and we can see what's going on, and it's very painful to them, and I can understand that, because what they're saying is that the people they love the best are sitting here criticizing, angry, and really dumping on the men they love the most, and that's very that hurts a lot. And maybe instead of me trying to preach or somebody else, maybe the best thing to do is for you all to hear a little story. My next guest, Angela, thinks she can help convince these girls to do something that they haven't been contemplating. Angela, who's going to come out here, didn't listen to her mother. Not only she lose contact with her mother for 2 years, she was almost killed. Why? We'll find out. Here's Angela. Angela, come on out. Nice to see you. Okay. Why don't you sit right here, because I know you've been backstage and you've listened to all these stories, and I bet there's something in all of these stories that kind of rings true with you, doesn't it, Angela?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
I was with my ex-boyfriend for 4 years, and he beat on me 3 of them, 2 of them every day. I've been broken up for 3.5 months, and a week ago he came in and tried killing me, broke my sternum, fractured my collarbone. And the one that sticks to me the most is Valerie. He don't love you, and it's only going to get worse. I see you so much in me. I was the same age that you are when I got with mine, and it only gets worse.
And when
Look at these. Those are bite marks. Those are 2.5 years old. 2.5 years.
Now, your mother, did she try, like these other parents, to talk to their children?
I lost the relationship with my mom for 2 years because I wouldn't leave him. My mom put me in the psychiatric ward. I slit my wrist. These men have so much control over you guys. They get in your heads. They tell you what you want to hear, and you let them. And you let them break you. And I let him break me. And never again. It's only going to get worse. They're never going to change. Mine went and got help for 2 months, and it stopped for 2 months. But it only got worse after that. My mom...
Valerie, this is hitting home, isn't it? And here's what happens to ultimatums. Because Angela, I'm sure there came a time when your mother said, okay, Angela, it's either me or your boyfriend.
Several.
And what'd you do? Who'd you pick?
My boyfriend. I was homeless 5, 6 times, living in garages and everything for him. And
where is he now?
I don't know.
Are you afraid that he's going to come back?
He did a week ago. He'll do it again. But this time, he might go farther. You girls think that he put his hands on me. He didn't choke me. You know he did. Oh, it was an accident. It was a mistake. No, it wasn't. He knew what he was doing. He says he don't. It's a cop-out. Did you ask him why? I don't know. Yeah. How many times I heard I don't know. Being stabbed with screwdrivers. Being choked with cable cords. Breaking my sternum. He would have hit me one more time, it would have punctured my lung. And I would have died. Watching my mom sit and cry on my 21st birthday because she was scared that I was going to die. And you know what? If I would have stayed, I would. And even if you get out, I almost died this time. Almost.
We're going to take a break. You stay here. You can I'd like you to go backstage with these young people and talk to them more about that. I'm sure they have a lot of questions for you. I thank you so much for coming. Maybe your words did more than anything else here on the show today. Thank you very much, Angela.
You're welcome.
We'll be back right after.
And I've had a lot more experience in life than you have.
If you love me, Dad, that's what I'm telling you. If you love me, you would understand I'm happy.
You're happy now because there's this facade that's being presented to you. That's not a real person. That's a facade. He wants something that you've got. You don't understand that. You don't see him for what he is. You don't see the truth.
The more you keep telling me you want me away from Travis, you're pushing me closer because you know what? He's the only one person that was there for me. Even you weren't. And that's why I have a lot more respect for him than I have for you right now.
I love you enough to get you away from him.
That's not love.
You will wake up one of these days just as Sarah did. You're going to have the funds to do things that you need to do.
I don't know if you're married. I don't care what she thinks. I don't care what he thinks.
Just get the from her.
What do you think?
She thinks you're trash, and she'll figure it out sooner or later.
I don't love you, Travis.
Yeah.
I do want to marry you.
I can't believe you just said that.
Hey, get off of him.
We can't do that.
What did you just tell me?
Sarah,
what did you just tell me, though?
I'm not going to marry him.
What did you just tell me, though? You're saying one thing and doing another.
Sarah, don't you understand that I love him?
I know you love him. I know you love him. I know you do.
Why can't you understand that? If you say you care, then be my friend. Be there for me.
I am being there for you.
No, regardless if I'm with him or not. And if you can't do that, then you can't be my friend at all. And if you can't accept it, then you can't be you.
It is.
It's not.
You don't have enough experience to know what love really is yet. This guy is a scammer.
Dad, if he's trash, then you are too. Because you know what? You're bringing up his past. Okay, let's bring up your past. So look, do this one. I was bad once. Okay, I got into a lot of trouble. Okay.
Watch your mouth.
Listen to me. I was in jail.
Don't talk like him.
No, I was in jail.
She talks like you, John, the way you talk to her.
Things, okay, but you've forgiven me for a lot of things I've done. Have you or have you not?
I have forgiven you for a lot
Well, then you know what? He has a past. Let it go.
Travis sat down and talked things over for Heather's sake. John says he's still going to try to get his daughter away from Travis for good. Juanita says that she still wants Lauren to leave Keith, but she's being careful not to push her daughter away. Jason promised Patty that he would turn his life around and do what's right for Barbara and their unborn child.